Hello everyone, Richard Moran and I, Leo Gauthier, will be presenting a podcast about generation gaps between the previous generations and ours. Without any further wait, let us begin. Many generations have walked the earth, all of them with their differences and distinctions. There has been no exception to the rule that is change and there will probably never be. Everything is subject to change and evolution down to its core, down to its very existence. Gaps that, gaps that are created by such difference haven't spared our generation nor the previous ones and have affected many aspects of it. With this in mind, what are those differences? What is the most importance of these separations in our way of doing things, thinking, acting, and even being? So begins our quest for knowledge. In this short podcast, we wish to depict some differences about our generation, about the way we see nature, ours, and around us alike. That, and more specifically, difference in the field of medicine. You will come to realize that some points about these two matters are deeply connected. So, without further ado, let us begin. Recently, we had the chance to interview a veteran in the field of chiropractic in order to report some difference between our generations. By the information we got, we noticed that one of the many differences that separate us as a generations is in medicine. Our predecessors were much more into a natural way of doing things than the human of today. That is true not only for medicine, but for life in general. This fact really jumped in our face, and we also noticed that few people were informed about these changes and difference. This is why we decided to discuss about the generation gap found in the medical field and more specifically drugs, vaccines, pharmaceutical products, and the approach of medicine as a whole.
In today's life, we live in a world where many ideals, beliefs, and visions coexist, many of which are contradictory and opposite. For example, medicine. Some think that the use of pharmaceuticals is beneficial for us, our bodies, minds, and our general health. It has indeed helped cure many diseases and sicknesses. Within our medical system, the use of drugs and external reagents is frequent, common, implemented, and accounted for. For many years it has worked well and is still working today. On the other hand, some believe that we should not tamper with the body using external agents such as drugs, vaccines, and such. Of course, these beliefs clash and are opposed as per obvious reason. A part of the population thinks that nature has always done its work, that it has always adapted, evolved, changed depending on the difficulties, challenges, and hardships that occurred. According to this fact, the idea is that no matter what happens, we are nature's creation and object, that we should adapt using natural means that our body gives us, use our true potential as a species. Such is the way Dr. Louis-Philippe Morin thinks. His area of expertise is chiropractic. It is for this belief and vision that he has chosen this field of medicine over another. That and other values that he holds deep and firm within his soul. Indeed, after this interview with Mr. Morin, we have come to realize that things have changed about technology, people, and the general way of thinking. For example, ever since he was young, he liked to work with his hands, be around nature, use nature, and better his existence through respect and harmony with natural things. It is therefore understandable that Mr. Morin chose this type of profession, which is essentially focused around the belief that we stated earlier. Professionals working in this domain have our bodies at heart, but also nature's way of doing things. Chiropractors will adjust the bones of our anatomy, mainly the spine, in order to allow for the better functioning of our body in all its wonderfulness. He has the health of his patients at heart, but he likes to do so using natural ways. In his mind, using artificial methods is to this day unthinkable.
Odd, isn't it? Why would why would someone refuse help from artificial methods that have proved themselves over the years? After doing this interview, we realize that everywhere in our lives we are held by artificial means, computers, machines, programs, medicine, and much, much more. For instance, if you have a headache, what do? You take an Advil or a Tylenol. This is our reality, and that and that of our generation, and that is a gap to the previous one, as we have explained earlier. Currently, everywhere we go, we are surrounded by technology and we are incredibly reliant on it. We think that technologies are very helpful for today's society because everything is faster and easier with them. Another example, if I am searching for an information or specific knowledge, automatically I open my computer and search it on the web. I get information easily and faster than I would with anything else today. So basically, I rely on technology to get the knowledge I am striving for. It is almost the same thing in the medical field. As an example, if you have back pain, what do? I go to the doctor and ask him what's wrong. What will his answer be? Most likely he will tell me to take medicine that he will have prescribed to me and go fetch it at the drugstore.
If we compare our way of thinking to that of Mr. Morin, it is quite different and a huge gap exists between them. Why? Because our society has changed. So, it became much more dependent on our creations. For example, if a disease affects us, we will trust drugs that we barely know anything about. We entrust our lives, health, conditions to the medical system and its representatives. However, it isn't necessarily a bad thing. Thanks to all this progress and advances, we are able to give healthcare to many people in need faster than we ever could in the past. One difference with the way of thinking of Mr. Morin and mine is that I don't think it is wrong, while on the opposite, Dr. Morin thinks so. By reflecting about these changes, we are now able to see the different gaps between our generations. We talked a lot about medical services and practice changes, but a lot of other critical differences exist and are quite present in our society.
Hospitals, medicine, and health systems have saved more lives than we could count, but there is still some progress to be made. As Mr. Morin believes, we are unsure of the side effects of these methods. Medicine is still young. We don't know half of what is to be discovered in the future. And now, it is time to hear your opinion. Do you prefer natural methods or artificial ones?